And now for the actual assembly of the bike. So one thing, they do have a video which I'm watching, which has been helpful, but it blazes through really quick. One thing that's neat, I don't know if they did this after the video, but you see this guide? You can actually see it through the brace here. So you can tell exactly when it's in center. And they recommend that it's at 45. Obviously, you could do as you're comfortable with, like a 45-degree pitch like that. So I'm going to tighten those screws down as they recommend, obviously, and what you'll need. The other thing is, I'm not sure if it'll do it here for these hydraulic brakes, but typically it's never a good idea to push this without the disc brake being in there because it has nothing to pull back from. So I just would not recommend doing that. I don't know if it would do it here, but the rear tire came already fully assembled. Let's just take a quick peek at this. This is really cool. I've never had a belt drive system before. If you get in there and you see how that thing looks, really clean. That's nice. Yeah, and I noticed that it has, I believe this is if you have like fenders or something like that, and this didn't come with any. Again, in California, not planning to ride in the rain. I was never a huge fan of fenders. I just think it makes a bike look so much extra chunky, and it doesn't need to. So, cool stuff. Let's keep moving. One other cool detail I noticed, and again, you don't always get to see all these cool things until you assemble it, but along with this front light being integrated, there's also a reflector kind of also a part of this. So it's independent movement of it, but it's nice that they kind of nicely integrate that into the light. Usually the light has its own thing and you have like a separate reflector, if at all. So that part's nice. I just fixed is this little rubber gasket. Again, this is the down tube, was kind of not seated properly, kind of pulled out. So I went ahead and pushed it up in there and then was able to get it nicely in there. So we'll see over time how well protected that is because your battery's in there. So you certainly want to make sure that no water or anything gets up in there. It's something to take a look at. I don't know how things are actually embedded in here or how this is protected. That might be a good thing for them to kind of explain. One other thing, although minor, of the tools that they provide you, they're all too big to tighten this bolt. And that's true on both sides. You can see that. So, I mean, I obviously have something that'll fit that, but just one thing of interest. So in other words, otherwise it's too loose, right? You want that tight. So you'll have to get your own. It requires a 3mm. Okay, you hear that? One thing I noticed is once you get the wheel on, the brake itself, got it upside down here, there, we stop it. Okay, so now the brake is engaged. There's two adjustments here, upper and lower. I'm gonna loosen these and then we'll kind of position it in and out. All right, so you wanna loosen this one and loosen this one. Okay, already kind of pre-loosened it. Now we're gonna run it again. See the give here? Adjustment that way. So let's try to get it dialed in. Yeah, that's what you want. You just want to basically loosen these two guys, and as you're applying the brake, you can dial them in slowly, tighten them, and find that sweet spot. But now it's perfect. Just a little bit of tuning, and we're good to go. Okay, so we have the front wheel on. One thing that's really impressive is the design. I just love how, like, the forks are, it's just a beautiful, there's a seam, right? But it's just so well connected. And then this I thought was just kind of a straight, kind of a boring pipe, but it's actually like a V shape. You can see it's tapered. Gonna see there you can see how it's tapered, probably for support, I'm assuming, but also the design, very nice. The These are raised letters. I don't know over time how that will age, but we'll see. But everything has a nice seal to it. So that part is really cool. And I don't know if that really comes across in the videos that I've seen. It's getting exciting. Got to put a few more things on and this will be ready to charge. Okay, I'm putting on the pedal. And one, tip I would say is when you're starting to thread it, if you feel that it's resisting at any point, just pull back off again and then just make sure it should be very smooth. You definitely don't want to strip this thing. The charging brick is plugged in here. It's not in the bike yet. I'll show you that. So we'll go ahead and open the access port. See what that looks like on the inside. There you go. So just plug that in. Let's see what the LED does. I would imagine it's going to change to red for charging. Yep. There we go. Now wait for that to go back to green, which I'm assuming would be fully charged. And nothing is displaying here. I won't turn this on until it's fully charged. I just like to make sure everything's good to go before we do that. And as far as accessory mount locations, you have this area here, which is what the typical, where you put your water bottle or whatever you decide to put there. And then as far as putting on a back rack, 2 mounting points here looks fairly standard, which would go down and connect up to here. No, this is kind of interesting. These aren't screwed in, so I don't know. But this seems firmly placed, so might tighten those up just a bit. But that's what that's for there. And in the front, mounting location, I think if you were to, and in the front mounting location, you have 2 spots here. So if you were to put a front rack there on either side, I believe that's what that would be for, is my guess. As far as a front fender, maybe that's what that also could be used for. Difficult to tell though, because there's really not much in the way that could attach there. Unless it attaches here, there, and then kind of down on either side. I'm just not sure. Although the front headlight is integrated into the battery system, the rear is not. They give you a rechargeable, and I don't know how smart this is, or is it motion activated, but we'll find out. We'll review that. I also have a rear light I'll be testing out, which is really exciting, called Click. So I'll show you that shortly. It's when the rear light is charging. So I've got the USB connection in there. So we'll see when that's fully charged. All right, now the rear light is green and fully charged. Assembly is really easy. You're essentially just putting on the front wheel, putting on your handlebars, pedals, and the seat. Everything else is assembled. There's no wires you have to plug in. The motor, everything's already connected, and then you just start charging it. It's impressive, and not only that, this thing is light. It just doesn't feel like a super heavy, fat tire e-bike. So I'm gonna weigh the bike. You can currently see it's set at 0. I'm going to lift the bike up now and see how much it weighs. Okay, I'm getting 35.58 pounds. So on the website it says 33, it's 35. Not sure why the difference, but a couple pounds could be anything, right? I'm just so stoked to try this thing out.